Hey guys, welcome back to this installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. Thank you for tuning in today. The first thing I want to point off is this horrible rust that is finally really showing up on my car. I actually haven't looked at this in a while. That's awful. This is from, well, the winter, of course. There's not much I could do about this in the winter. But these are prone to rust from the inside out because of the insulation that are put into these panels, and this one is finally taking its toll. I'm disappointed, but it is what it is for the time. So if you watched the last video on removing parts of this engine and tearing this engine apart, we made a lot of headway in the last video, and as you can see, we're looking into the engine now a little bit. So we were able to finally get the alternator off. It's sitting back there for now because I can't get it out, but we were finally able to get the alternator off, the alternator bracket, the power steering pump, which you don't have to cut off, but I did because I have to replace the lines anyway, and it just made it easier. So we got all that stuff out. We got the coil pack completely gone now. I just removed this a little while ago in the last video. This is what holds the coil pack on, and from there we were able to get to our valve covers now. So you can see it looks pretty dirty. There's some clean oil in there because we did an oil change on it. But as you can see, there's still a lot of sludge and gunk build up. I mean, the engine's got 170,000 miles, if it's the original engine that was put into this car. That I don't even know. So in this video, we're going to start this video off by actually removing the lower intake. Then we'll get a much better view into this engine. So let me see what I got to do now. We will need, let's see, there are 10 millimeter bolts. There's 4 bolts on the inside, which, up 1 and 2, right down in there. 3 and 4 probably back over here. Yep, there's 3 and there's 4. And then it says there are 2 on the outside, on the sides. 4 bolts inside, 2 bolts on the outside. I do remember, let's see, I think that's one right there, and the other one is here on the side. I've heard that one's going to be a pain to try to work with. Same with this side. There's one there, and well, where is the other one? Maybe it's this one. We're going to have to take the thermostat off and pull it out of this tube. It has to be pulled out against the firewall. That's probably going to be a treat. I do want to replace the thermostat anyway once this job is done. Everything's so rusted. So let's see. Do not remove the 2 hidden bolts quite yet. Remove the last hooked up heater core hose before removing the lower intake. So that's going to be this one here on the thermostat housing. Remove deep well 13 millimeter bolt from line going into the thermostat. Deep well 13. Is it this? What is that? That I'm not sure. I'll have to take a further look into that one. And then try to pound out the thermostat line housing by pulling on the integrated. So we're going to pound this way. I doubt we're going to really be able to do it at a good angle because there's not much room to get anything back there. So then after that we got to remove the fuel lines. So we're going to do that. Then we can remove our hidden bolts from the sides of the intake and get the intake up off the engine. After that, we're going to remove our rocker arms and our push rods, which are going to be done in a very crucial fashion, because all these rocker arms and the push rods underneath and such, those have to come out and go back in the exact same order that they are going to be, that they are now. So these would be for 2, these would be for 4, these would be for 6, and vice versa on the other side. So those have to go back into the same spots that they are in now. And for that, I'm going to take one of these. Okay, I'm going to take one of these empty jugs and I'm going to drill holes into them. And we're just going to stick the pins, the push rods, down into the holes, and we're going to write the, this is going to be the front of the engine. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that'll be the easiest way to do it. So I've been out here for a while already. If you watched the last video, and it's been raining on and off. I think the rain finally cleared up for the time being. The sun was out just as I was getting the back valve cover off. And so I don't know how much longer I'm going to be out here today doing this, but I would at least like to get that lower intake off. So let's remove those bolts from the inside of our thing. Let me get this back on there. That goes to the stud that's still in the engine for the that bracket that the coil pack sits on. So we need a 10mm. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. See how well this will come off. That was very loose. Is this one loose? Can I get to it? Oh, I'm stuck. That one's in a weird bad spot. These aren't very tight. Wouldn't it be something if somebody did do the lower intake gasket and it turns out they just didn't tighten the intake back on and the head gaskets are fine? Wouldn't that be an interesting scenario? Where's the other one? Here. Close. I'm going to have to take this extender off and use my shorter one for that one. That would be a very upsetting scenario. That's kind of what happened to my last Aztek. Only I think the heads weren't torqued down right. So all of the gaskets were slowly leaking into the car, or into the engine I should say. 10, yeah. Wouldn't that be an interesting situation? Okay, that one was a little tight. And the fourth one is this wire here. It's got to be moved a little bit. It doesn't want to move. There it is. Okay. Okay, so those weren't too bad. Now with this intake, I've noticed I was able to get 2 of the bolts out. You can see here, this one's here. It's loose and it's out. And the one back here is sort of loose and sort of out. The fuel rail happened to be in the way for both of these. Now, in the video that I watched, the fuel rail doesn't have to be removed. And I don't intend on removing said fuel rail, so trying to come up with another concoction to possibly, this one's fine because this one's not connected to anything anymore. This one, I can't really turn it anymore, so I'm going to have to figure something out. Here's what they look like though. Again, they are sludge covered. See? Ew. So for now, I'm going to move on. We're going to disconnect the fuel lines. which is why I put gloves on, because I don't want gasoline on my hands. So, after that, then I could probably get to the heater or the thermostat housing. I did loosen the one bolt, and it got all kinds of corroded stuff on there. The other bolt's back down there. I'm gonna have to use a ratchet to get to that, or not a ratchet, but an actual wrench. But I can't turn anything with these fuel lines in the way. So once we disconnect these lines from here and here and here, this is where they kind of just sit, then maybe we can kind of get them out of the way somehow a little bit. So the first thing we need to do is depressurize the gas lines, or the fuel rail I should say. And basically all we have to do is, there's a cap here, and we just have to kind of push in on it. There's a little valve, like a little button there. So I don't know how much pressure's in it, but just push it. Where is it? There we go. Maybe you might need something. Well, a little bit came out. I mean, the car hasn't really been running, so maybe there's nothing in there to depressurize. Yeah, there's nothing there. You can maybe get like something pointy. Here we go. Might be too long, but it's a little extended in here. Yeah, see, I pushed it in. Nothing's coming out, so we are all set. There's nothing there. So, those are awful. And so we can take our newly purchased wrenches, and we can probably just use this. See if there's any better angle I can get that at. There we go. Wedge it on there, and hope for the best. Oh, okay, great. There's probably going to be some gasoline running out of here, but that's okay. Okay. And then to go further, we're going to have to make sure we get that disconnected. Now, this one here is going to be bigger than both of these sizes, so we need the crescent wrench for that one. Hopefully this goes well. It might work a little better with this because it is larger. Okay, so this one came off. It's just going to slide down. This one's loose. Now we got to untie the lines from that bolt there. It's a 10 millimeter. Put that for now. And now you can see, well, not as much play as I wanted. Does this come off? Maybe we could slide it off, pry it off. There we go. Okay, so now we got a little play. And now these lines should just come right out, so might have to fight with them a little bit, but we should be able to get them out. I mean, we have to pry them out. Okay, so both lines are off. There was still a little more gasoline in that line there. I wonder why it didn't really depressurize, but you can see it kind of running out now. This is the line that went under here. It came out, no problem. This one I kind of had a hard time with. We do have the O-ring on this one, so that's good. So we will have to replace this O-ring when we put the line back in. And now that those lines are free, maybe I can get them out of the way. We can work on getting that line out of the thermostat. Whew, gasoline is strong. And I'll have to clean off the intake once I get it off, if I can get it off today. So as far as getting this thermostat off, or this tube, see, that's what I don't understand. Where's that tube go? That tube goes up around here, curls, and it goes to the firewall. Jeez, I wonder if I could just take it off from the firewall. Because I'm not really seeing how that's going to come off easily. Alright, so I managed to get quite a bit of this stuff done. Alright, so as far as the two bolts that were kind of stuck under the fuel rail, this one's good. This one was the one I was having a hard time with. I took the needle nose pliers, squeezed it, and I was able to loosen it up, and now it's free. I loosened the two bolts on the side, 1 and 2. See, one here, the other one's here. I had to use an actual open-ended wrench for this one. It was a pain. Same with this one here, open-ended wrench. And this one here was okay with the socket. So I'm bleeding all over things again. I was going to try to get the thermostat out, but I can't really get to this bottom bolt with the exhaust shield in the way. It makes me really wonder how people do this. And it turns out the little bracket that I was talking about that the fuel rail sits on, this one here, well, it does still sit in the engine on the side, because we have to take this off. It's connected to this. My question is, it was a bolt that I pulled out of there just now, 13 millimeter bolt. Had to use the deep well to get that. How much time's left on my camera? Oh man, I gotta delete some stuff. I took these side bolts out. You can tell the bolts that go inside the intake are longer like this. So all 4 intake bolts are long like that. 2 of them are still in there. These are the 2 on the sides. When I pulled these 2 out, they had the milky oil on them. These 2 bolts were clean. These 2 bolts had the milky oil on them. I don't know. Like I said, my guess was the gasket was maybe leaking back there. But this is off now. Well, kind of. What I'm trying to do is that little bracket, see, it's open at this end, so I want to try to lift the intake up and maybe try to get this bracket out of the way, and then I could try on actually working on getting it off. So I'm going to need 2 hands for it. Well, as you can see, I got the intake knocked loose. I got the thermostat housing off finally. The 2 screws on the side. Oh, maybe that one was not necessary. I don't know. But they're off now. These 2. Here's our thermostat. Doesn't look too bad, I don't think. But like I said, I'll probably end up replacing it anyway. Well, I'm kind of stumped on this one, guys. I'm going to call it a day anyway, for now. Maybe tomorrow I'll be back out here. But I cannot figure out how to get this tube out of this. Now, the video that I watched said exactly what I tried to do. Keep a couple of the side bolts in the intake, which I replanted the intake. And you pound it out by pounding on this bracket, the one that's attached to the hose. And I've been doing it, and I'm not getting anywhere with it. I mean, I've literally been trying to get this out for maybe about an hour. So I'm gonna call it a day for now. I'm running out of camera room anyway. Plus I have a mess to clean up. And I have to put some of these bolts back into their proper homes so I know where everything goes. So I guess we'll have to see what tomorrow brings. And in the meantime, I'll have to look into the video or other videos even to see if we can properly get that hose out of there, because there's really no other way to get it out. Completely stumped on that one. Well, it's another day here with the engine teardown of the Aztek. We're in the 50s today, the sun is out, but it's really breezy. The breeze is actually making it quite chilly. And first thing I did this morning was finally get a solution to getting this thermostat pipe off of the housing. So I ended up getting a pair of vice grips, and I just built a really long extension with all of my socket extenders, ratchet extenders, and then I just kind of used this hammer and lightly started tapping on it for a while. And as you can see, it's pretty much out. So now, once I get these vice grips off of here, we should be able to just pull that out. There it is. Ooh, that don't look too good. There's gonna be cooling in, of course, but yeah. And guys, that was it. So at this point, I can take those bolts back out of the intake, the ones that I didn't tighten down. Well, I tightened 2 down, and then I placed all the ones in there so they wouldn't get lost. But now I could take all these out and unloosen the other 2. That hose looks terrible. I wonder if I gotta clean that off, or hopefully I didn't ruin it by squeeze clamp or using the pliers on it. But I mean, I tried to bang on this bracket like they were saying in the one video. Oh, look at all that gunk on there. I gotta clean that off anyway. Yeah, I don't know, but I wasn't getting it, so I decided to take it just a little further, and it seemed to work. So I just tried to be careful with it. Okay, now I need to get my sockets. I'm a little upset this morning. I was a little upset last night too, because for some reason my 8mm socket went missing, and I honestly don't know how that could have happened, because it didn't, I mean, where have I gone? I really didn't go anywhere except here, so I have no idea where it went. I looked all over the hood of the Aztek. I looked in here, looked in my bag, and I just have no idea where that thing went off to. So I hope I could find it, because I know we're going to need it again. I need the other extension too. I just thought that was so strange that it just kind of disappeared last night. Hopefully it shows up today, because I really don't want to just buy another 8mm socket for nothing. Okay. Oh. There it is. Oh man. Carefully put that down just for a sec. Oh, yep. So that's the inside of it. See the coolant there. Oh, yep. This is this is fun. Today we get to take off the rocker arms and all the push rods too. Oh, I bet I can get my alternator out now. Yep, there you go. So keep that in mind. If you want to change your alternator in your Aztek, you just got to tear the entire intake off and you'll get it out no problem. So I guess I could take these out now, because we don't need them in there this time. Oh wow. See all the milk on the bottom of this? Gonna need a real good cleaning, of course. Oh, hi. Okay, let's get this back over here. Boy, so the gaskets, huh? Now my guess was the gasket over here was maybe starting to fail because I did see some wetness down over there. Try to get this hose maybe toward back a little more. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so looks like that gasket's still in place. I don't know if these are Velcro gaskets or not, because you know, the intake, upper intake gaskets were Velcro. I don't know if these are Velcros or not. Wow. This is gonna be fun. We can see all the gunk inside the passages. Oh, look at that. I need to get a tool, like a pick. I'm sure that could be worse, but got all this down here. Oh my gosh. That's awful. That is absolutely disgusting. So, like I said, the next step is going to be to take off these rocker arms, get these push rods out. I got to get my jug, and I have to put the you know, I got to drill holes in them so all of these can go in their correct spots. Oh yeah. And then from there, we start to actually get the heads off. So I still have no idea what to do about this mount bracket, but we're gonna find out. There's gonna be a lot of issues today, guys. I guarantee you all of my exhaust studs are gonna break. So I'll have to douse them in some blaster and hope that they don't, you know, completely break off. I did see a pretty clever idea on a video, one of the videos I saw on YouTube in regards to this engine. Guy actually crawled underneath the car and he disconnected the exhaust from the back there, and then when he took the heads off, he just took, you know, all of this off in one piece. The exhaust came up with it and everything. And I was contemplating just going that route, crawling underneath and just trying to disconnect the exhaust from the back under the car. But I gotta change this manifold anyway, I think, because I do believe there is an exhaust leak up here, and I think it needs to come off anyway. But I mean, I probably could do that anyway once these are off. Maybe easier, I don't know. But yeah, I was just thought that was a pretty interesting idea. So I don't know, I might try it the old-fashioned way first. If I don't have any luck, maybe I'll try to go that route. But I'm hoping I can just, you know, just do it the old-fashioned way. We're going to take this whole shield off, and then we'll just take everything off piece by piece. See how it goes. Okay, so this is the part now where we're going to take out the rocker arms and the push rods. The gaskets look like they go on first before they are replaced, so like all of the arms and such are most likely under. Some of these arms, you know, this is over, so it's a very interesting design. It is also very crucial at this point that we don't drop anything into these holes down here. Not good, because once they fall into there, then we are screwed. That's where the camshaft is. And I mean, if we were to drop anything into these, you know, we'll be able to get those, because those are going to lead us right into the cylinder chambers. But in here, no. We drop anything in there, we're done for. So we're going to put some more towels or such in there to kind of lay over top, so we don't accidentally drop anything. Alright, so to get the rocker arms off and such, we need our 10mm socket. Okay, so I went through and broke the torque on the first 6 sets there, or 3 sets. See all the gunk on the wrench already on the socket. From there, yep, get stuck in everything. You can see how loose they get from there. The nice thing about doing this job is you don't have to mess with the timing or anything on this particular engine, because the timing and stuff is lower than where we're working. Okay, and that's it. Just pull it off like that. So like I said, I'll have to cut another jug here in a sec, so I'll just put this one here. We'll take off this one. There we go, just like that. Set it next to it in the order that we took it off, so those are on the same side. Okay, I re-drilled some of the holes, or the holes on my little thing there, because I tried putting this one in. Well, you can see all the sludge coming off just from holding it earlier, but didn't want to go in there, so hopefully I made them big enough to, yeah, there we go. Alright, just like that. So there's one. Well, 2 technically. So 2A, I don't know, and then this is 2B. Sitting there like that. And now I'll work on getting the rest of them off. Okay, so there's the rocker arms and the push rods sitting in the exact same order that they came out in. Now that the push rods and the rocker arms have been removed from the heads, let's see how well these gaskets will come off. There's little hole or pins that they sit in too, so little holes. It might help make it, you know, easier to put it back on. Okay, well, it looks like this one came off in a clean sweep. They don't look too terrible. Again, I'm wondering if maybe there was no correct torque on these gaskets. If I see a name on there, I mean, they don't feel fragile. They don't feel like they're gonna break. So I'm assuming these were changed at one time. This one here has a lot of buildup in it. Let's see how the other one comes out. Silicone, I think. Let's see. Okay. Now the gasket's off. So, you know, again, we got some cleaning to do. I'm not going to do that today. I'm probably going to take the heads to get looked at a machine shop. Somebody told me there's a shop not too far from here that they'll look at the heads and they don't charge you unless there's something wrong with it. So they'll look at them for free and I guess make sure that everything's okay. That's what I heard. Whether they actually do that or not, I don't know, but I guess I'll find out when the time comes. So, yeah, I think our next step now is actually to remove the exhaust. Am I correct? Yes. The part that I have been dreading this whole time. So I think we start off obviously with the shield. I think they were 10mm bolts from what I read here. We'll need an extension. We'll need the 13 deep well for the exhaust itself. I still gotta figure out how to get this mount off. But anyway, let's move forth on to getting the exhaust off. Well, $1.80 later, I have another 8mm socket. Nothing irritates me more than having to buy something that you already have because you misplaced it. Granted, it was not even $2, but I already have an 8mm socket. I just don't know where it is. I honestly don't even know how I lost it. I didn't even go anywhere yesterday. Let's go back home now. Now I need said 8mm for this little tiny bolt right here. It's on the side of the engine mount. And I think it just hooks onto this hose bracket or something. I don't know. But we're going to take it off anyway. Try to move this position sensor out of the way. Yeah, it looks kind of rusty. Of course, the line's in the way. I tried taking the hose off. But, oh my gosh, that's so rusted. Oh. I still can't get over how rusty everything under this car is, or under this hood is. So this is probably going to be a while just to try and get this thing off. Okay, got that little bolt out. I have it sitting in a little bit of blaster, and it just loosens whatever this is. And hopefully whatever this is supposed to be that loose. Now as far as this engine mount goes, I still have no idea what else is holding this thing on. I mean, unless it's just... I have no idea. Is it part of a specific part of the block or something? I mean, my understanding was it comes off. Every video that I've seen, it's off. Unless it comes off with this head or something. I am completely clueless, but I'm gonna move forward now anyway. We'll see what happens. The next step is to take off the exhaust shields. Oh boy. So now we're probably gonna have stuff that's gonna break. So I am expecting to break the exhaust studs. So I know, I'm pretty positive those are gonna break. If not, I mean, I don't want them to break, but I am already prepared for the idea of getting new studs if need be. So let's just try to get these heads off today, because for the most part, then we're done with tearing this down. So let me try to get the shield off. Let me find my paper real quick. What are we doing? Well, I don't know. I'm going to call it a day for now. I got this shield bolt out. This one is in a really bad spot. I almost need like a small ratcheting wrench, so that's probably another part or tool that I'm going to have to find, because the ratchet goes right against this firewall and there's no room to turn it. I got the first one out, but look, the other two are still in there and the shield has already fallen off. But I can't get the shield off because of this bracket that's sitting here. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out how to get this bracket off. I have tried YouTubing it. I've tried looking at diagrams online. And I've cleared every bolt that is here. But I can't get it off. I've tried pounding on it. I sprayed it with the blaster, let it sit, and I tried pounding on it some more. I'm not getting it. I knew that was going to be a real problem trying to get that off. And it is. So, for now, I don't know what to do with it. So, I'm at 2 roadblocks now. Getting that shield off and getting this mount off. I was really hoping to have the heads off today, but it is starting to get later in the afternoon. I got to get those taken care of, and I have to get that put away also. But we're almost there. At least we can see into the engine now. So that's going to be it for today. Hopefully when we start doing this again, we'll have we'll be able to move forward. But I'll see what I can find out, and we'll go from there.